Center. This is our second hour. We continue with our coverage. And for now, I want to head on to Nakuru. We understand that one rhino has been reportedly killed at the Lake Nakuru National Park with alleged poachers making away with the horns. Elphas Lagat now joins us with the detail. Elphas, good morning. So talk to us really, what exactly happened this time round?
Well, good morning, Betty. As you rightly mentioned, we had a conversation with the senior warden in charge of Lake Nakuru, Madam Catherine Wambani, confirming to us that indeed one rhino has been killed right here in Lake Nakuru by alleged poachers. The said poachers are said to have made away with the rhinos of that particular rhino. And this morning, we have arrived here, a team of journalists in Nakuru have arrived here, and at the same time, the county security team led by the county commissioner Kanada, as well as police commandant Hassan Barua, have gained entry into the Lake Nakuru National Park. But the journalists here, we've been barred from accessing that scene of crime, as pointed out by Madam Wambani, pointing out that indeed one rhino was killed by the poachers. Of course, Betty, this is coming in the backdrop of 10 rhinos who died when they were translocated to Tsavo National Park. Of course, they now being an exchange with tourism CS Najib Balala and the KWS, the cabinet secretary rather saying that KWS did not follow protocol in sanctioning the translocation of 10 rhinos. But we can confirm to you, Betty, that indeed one rhino has been killed here in Lake Nakuru National Park. We are yet to find out more details to this because journalists have been barred outside the gate, because just behind me is the entry to Lake Nakuru National Park. In 2013, Betty, microchips were implanted into endangered species. Of course, rhinos are some of the endangered species in the country. These microchips were to serve the function of safeguarding rhinos and ensuring that they are tracked in good time and to prevent poaching. But now this new occurrence, the one rhino that has been killed right here in Lake Nakuru National Park, is casting major aspersions on the efforts to safeguard rhinos, which are endangered species in the country, Betty. So at the moment, we've had a conversation with the senior warden, Catherine Wambani, on phone, who is right there at the scene of where the carcass of the rhino was found this morning, reportedly after being killed yesterday. And now with a team of forensic experts, with a team of security from Nakuru to establish just exactly what happened. So at this point, Betty, those are the details that we have for you. We will be closely following up with the senior warden, of course, with the security team. And once we get entry into Lake Nakuru, Betty, we'll post you with more details as to this new occurrence. Betty.
All right, Elphas, like you mentioned, it's quite early to really have some, information really about this unfortunate incident. But I mean, so do we know even how the poachers were able to access the park? Was the park fenced? What are you hearing from the ground with regard to that particular incident?
Well, Betty, we had a conversation, as I mentioned, with Catherine Wambani on phone, and she mentioned that indeed a rhino was killed, and they made away with those 2 horns of the rhino. She's not coming out clear on whether it is indeed poachers, but by what she's saying, that is actually could be poachers, because the rhino was killed in the park and they made away with 2 rhinos. So at the moment, we can't conclusively say whether it's poachers, whether it's an isolated case, whether it's a foul play at the moment. But what we know at this point, from what she has confirmed to us, is that a rhino has been killed. The carcass is at the park, and that carcass of the rhino is missing the 2 horns. So obviously the person who killed the rhinos made away with the 2 horns of the rhino. So at the moment, the security team, it's barely about less than 20 minutes ago when they gained entry into the national park. So of course, we will be keeping tabs on what is happening, what is the development moving forward, to know exactly, is it a case of poaching, is it foul play? And of course, Betty, this is really generating a lot of conversation, because 10 rhinos in a span of a month, of course, that was an isolated case, there's translocation. But now with this particular one, that this rhino has been killed, is really whipping up conversations, emotions with, conservationists saying, well, are we really doing enough to ensure that the endangered species of rhinos in the country are safeguarded? Of course, that's the conversation that we will be picking as the day goes by, and when we have more details, when we gain entry into Lake Nakuru National Park. Betty.
All right, Elfas Lagat, there are so many questions I want to ask, but you. But of course, you've mentioned that indeed information as of now is quite scanty and not too much detail has been given there. But we will continue to focus on that. An unfortunate incident there, a rhino was killed, and that was in Lake Nakuru National Park. We'll try and get as much detail as the day goes by. But for now, though, we want to focus our attention in